So, hello and welcome everybody to another webinar here at Fronius International. I want to welcome you to a topic about a new feature, a new update we have on our Tauro series, on our Tauro direct variant actually, and it's about a 30 amp fuse option. So there is a new print and a few other details and changes that come with it, which I want to introduce you to, a few technical specs and how to order it properly. And also a second topic on the second half of this webinar, I want to introduce you to another feature, but more on that later. Yeah, to my person, hello, my name is Chris. You might know me already. I'm from the trainings team at Fronius International in the solar energy department, and I will guide you through today's webinar. And yeah, I'm not alone. I want to say right before we start, I'm here with the product manager of the Tauro and also the product marketing responsible person. So thank you guys for being with me today. And also here now the question to the audience. If you have any question around Fronius, around this new feature, around the product, use the chat function. I have colleagues in the background answering you on those questions, and you can either do it when I'm talking or also at the end of the webinar and send your questions through. Good. Yeah, that's actually the next slide I wanted to talk to you about. Feel free to ask questions. And the second topic, we are keen to hear your feedback as well, your opinions about product, Fronius, and also these webinars and online trainings. So please give us feedback at the end of the webinar. There pops up a window, and I'm happy to read your feedbacks then. All right, so now to the agenda. First of all, I want to talk to you about the new 30 amp fuse option. And this is coming for the Tauro direct version. I want to show you a few technical specs and what this allows us to do. For example, high amperage modules, for example. And the second topic will be an Arc Guard feature. So how does it work? How to activate the feature, and with which products do we start in the launch? Yeah, those topics will be a core component of today's webinar. And I mentioned I will start with the 30 amp option. Yeah, and we do that by talking a little bit about the changes that we see in the PV module market. So the PV module topology has changed, of course, a lot in the past few decades, and there are a lot of modules currently out there with high current. So large wafer sizes, 21 by 21 centimeters and larger coming up, which are most suitable for ground mounting and large rooftop as well. There are some regional changes. For example, in Germany, you could have a problem when you mount those large modules on the roof because of the high format and the possibility that the wind throws it off the roof. So just a personal note, take care and make sure it is permitted where you want to install it. And those large panels need a two-person handling, of course. It's very heavy as well. And just to give you a quick comparison between existing modules, maybe with a 13 amp module, like you can see below, and the 18 amp module, we would have on a string with around 700 volts, 9.1 kilowatt on the 13 amp module versus 12.6 kilowatt on a 18 amp module. So of course, this means you can get more power onto the roof, which is a good thing. I also have a list down here with a few manufacturers. So Trina Solar and Ryzen, for example, they are currently already working on an 18 amp module, but there will be more coming for sure. Let's see. Okay, and for those high current modules, we are then offering now a solution, and you can connect it onto a Tauro inverter with the 30 amp fuse option. Because of course, with a 20 amp fuse option, you would get a problem And with this new option, which is only available for the Tauro Direct version, please be aware of that. We started now only with the direct versions where you can connect directly with an MC4 connector. And you have to order it. So this only goes for a project inverter. So on the right-hand side, you can see, for example, a screenshot out of the Tauro configurator. I hope you know that tool already. If not, check it out. It's free of charge, and you just need to type into your browser tauroconfigurator.fronius.com, and then you can basically manually design your inverter that fits your system, your project, and you can select this 30 amp fuse option. Because the stock inverter of the wholesaler, they still will be delivered with the standard 20 amp fuses. All right, so in this configuration process in the configurator, you can then choose to select the 30 amp option. And this also comes with a new print. So if you have a 20 amp version, you cannot simply switch 20 amp fuse with 30 amp fuse because it's a different fuse holder, a different print, different number of strings as well. All right, but with this new feature, we are of course more flexible. We can connect higher current modules and are future-proof, let's say, with the next set of modules that probably will arrive on the market. All right, so we have talked about direct version only for now and project inverter, so you have to configure it. And here would be a list as well with the existing fuses, which gives us a number of strings. So let me quickly activate my laser pointer. So the number of strings on the existing 20 amp option on an ECO 100 Tauro inverter is 778 for one MPP tracker, but you have distributed it into 3 sections. We have 3 DC disconnectors, and therefore we have 7 strings, 7 strings, and 8 strings. If we compare the Tauro 100 ECO now with the 30 amp option, on the right hand side, we can see there is a lower number of strings with 455. And the reason, of course, we can't just increase the current with the same output power or the same input power. Actually, we need to reduce this as well, the number of strings. So this is why we have those changes, and this means there is a different print inside. So the same goes for the ECO 50 and the standard 50, as you can see here, compared to the 30 amp fuse option. Yeah, and what it gives us is a higher fuse rating and a higher IMPP. Therefore, we are able to work with the high current module of 18 amps, for example. So, all right, down below we can see all the things that we have talked about in this slide listed up again. Same amount of disconnectors. This didn't change, but just the number of strings. All right, so let's have a quick summary. With the high current option, the Tauro can also be used for high current modules that are increasingly entering the market. And this means also that the currents can be connected, but this affects the number of strings. We have seen how what is the change in number of strings. All right, then we have the list of compatible inverters for now, which come with this option. It's only the ECO line and sorry, not only the ECO line, only the direct line with the ECO and the standard. So the high current option is only available on the Tauro Direct. The pre-combine is unaffected, and it's a project inverter only. So the wholesaler Tauro will be delivered with the 20 amp fuses. All right, then once again, the max short circuit current stays or is then 30 amp, and we have an IMPP of 22.5 amps. All right, so let's close up this first topic, 30 amp fuse option, and switch to the second option that is now available, the Fronius Arc Guard. You may have heard of it already. I want to quickly describe what it is. It's an arc fault circuit interruption. It's an algorithm, a feature that we have now implemented for highest safety. So you might have heard of this because it's a standard or a code requirement already in the US markets and a few other countries, but mainly from US. And it's necessary there for an inverter to detect a serial arc and to be able to shut down the inverter so that no fire occurs, which is of course a good thing. And with this algorithm, with this feature, we are now able to do the same thing. So a precise detection of DC arcs, serial arcs in this case, and there is a functional principle that we need to follow. It's according to the IEC standard 63027. And as you can see already out of this topic, it's already linked in the European area, I would say. There is no country yet to which tells you to have this feature yet, but it's in discussion, and we are ready with the first inverters with this Arc Guard feature. All right, so we have heard it's a trained algorithm for continuous improvement, and the working principle is basically that the arcs cause specific high frequency currents in the PV cabling, in the PV generator, and the Arc Guard detects these currents and the inverter powers down then. So the DC arc is extinguished. And then there will be an error state shown, and what happens next I will tell you in the next few slides. Yeah, and also I wanted to quickly state here that we have many years of experience with DC arcs on purpose, because there is the so-called business unit Perfect Welding, and they focus on DC arcs, of course, since 1950. So I think we are very good equipped to handle these kinds of algorithms. All right, so with which products do we start with this new feature? It's the Tauro ECO line 50, 99, and 100. Only currently with the 20 amp fuse option. So not the 30 amp that is coming up that we have seen now. This will follow, but right now we started with the ECO line and only the 20 amp fuse option. This feature will be an option X factory. So please be aware that existing inverters cannot be retrofitted because one component is missing inside of them. And yeah, you need to order it as well. So same process as before, you go into the configurator, the Tauro configurator, and select that you want to have this feature. Because again, the stock wholesaler inverter will not be equipped with this. It's a standard 20 amp fuse option without AFCI. All right, it's a very easy activation. I have a screenshot for you ready in the next few slides. Within the user interface, you can do that. You simply need the country setup code, which you can get via the Solar SOS tool. So you basically get in contact there with the tech support, and they activate it so that you can use it and activate then the AFCI feature. And as well, the configuration is done with the Tauro configurator. All right, a quick explanation. What happens in the event of an arc? What does the inverter do? So, of course, it's all stated in this IEC norm, the 63027, and it specifies what the inverter has to do. And this is the following. So if the first arc occurs, the inverter interrupts the production and shuts down production for 5 minutes, and there will be an error state shown on a solar web and on the web interface as well. So the state code is actually 1006, and after 5 minutes, it will restart the production. And it will do so for 5 times. And after the 5th arc occurs, it will not restart because there is a different state code shown there, 1173, and the production will not be presumed until the technician arrives on site and quits the error code and restarts the inverter. So it's of course a precaution that we do, because if 5 times in a matter of 30 minutes, basically, there is a shutdown of the inverter, this means something is not right and you need to inspect the module fields, the PV generator. So this is the reason why. Okay. So, okay, what we can also see down below, these 5 arcs need to happen in a period of 24 hours, then it will shut down after the 5th time. If there is a bigger distance, a bigger time period between those arcs, between 5 arcs, it will not shut down, it will continue with the 5 minutes of waiting time. Yeah, one more topic is how to activate the AFCI. And as I mentioned, it's very easily done. You simply go to your web interface, you connect with the inverter via LAN or Wi-Fi, go to Safety and Grid Requirements, to the submenu Country Setup, and then to the submenu Safety. And here, for these settings, you need then the Country Setup access, which again, you can get from Solar S2S. And here there are then 2 topics. They are already marked with DC arc fault protection, and both of them need to be set on in order for the Arc Guard to work properly. So both of them need to be activated, and then the feature is on. And if there is a requirement, a local or regional requirement, and this is required by standard, basically, the AFCI feature is even activated by default as soon as you set these country setups. So you don't have to enter these topics and activate it manually. They will be automatically activated. All right. And last slide for today is about the availability. How does it look like there? The start of sales for the first options I've mentioned now have already happened in calendar week 3. So the Tauro ECO 50, the Tauro ECO 99, and the Tauro ECO 100 with the 20 amp fuse option are ready to go now as soon as you order it via the Tauro configurator. And the roadmap, of course, for the AFCI feature is as the following. We will presume with the standard, the Tauro standard, direct version with 20 amp for the next half of the year. So within 2023, we should get this. And after that, I just say it verbally, we are working on the 30 amp option. And then, of course, step by step, other products, other features. All right. So that's it for today's topic. We are finished for now with the 30 amp fuse option, a quick overview, and with the Arc Guard. I hope it was interesting for you. If you have questions, send them in. Like I mentioned, we are happy to have an interactive part as well with you. And as well, my colleagues will answer as good and as quick as possible. I will shut off my microphone and the camera for now. We will be online for you a few minutes more. And yeah, remember, those webinars will be recorded and will be sent out to you afterwards, so you can rewatch it. And within the next few weeks, you will find this as well on YouTube, so you can rewatch it there as well. So again, I hope it was interesting for you, and hope to see you again in the next webinar or the next online training. Okay, have a nice day, guys, and stay healthy. Goodbye.